The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no voice, no guys. Me, really villain route, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. As of time of recording, we're currently watching the I assume Scott's also watching the NBA play-in game, Eastern Conference. Miami's up 31-18, and I am oh yeah, it's still 18. Kobe White missed that 3. I am currently about to get in on Bulls Live because no shot Miami keeps this 10-point game going. Right? Scott Studio Right Show. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I'm assuming Chicago's going to come back to some degree if they decide to guard anybody. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, right now their defense is non-existent, so we'll see if Chicago wakes up somewhat defensively and maybe finds a way back into the game. I'm assuming it'll be closer. I think it'll be definitely a game that comes down to the wire, but damn, this Bulls team did not show up defensively in the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Giddey just let Tyler Hero get 2 easy blow-bys to the back. No, it was Giddey one time and it was Buzelis the other time. Just 2 easy blow-bys to the basket, and now he's in rhythm. So this is going to be something tough for the Bulls to battle back here. But I'm watching. But we've got a couple of things to talk about here, Scott. A couple of series. We've got the Lakers, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Clippers on the docket. Go over some series prices, what we like in there. Drop a lock and dog for the series, and I don't think Underdog has like series long. Does Underdog have series long props? I actually didn't look in.
I don't remember seeing any.
Let me see. NBA. Actually, I don't think they do have series long props. That'd be really cool though. I'm about to send him a note. That's what I'm gonna do. Send him a note. Series long props for would be amazing actually. All right, Scott. Before we get to that though, got to talk to you and make sure everybody has the SGPN app wherever you get your apps, in App Store, Google Play Store, whatever store. Get all of our picks and podcasts in one place. And we are going to go straight to the Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Lakers are the 3 seed. Timberwolves are the 6 seed. Now, the line fluctuates here, there, anywhere around. Shop your lines. It'll be somewhere around. The Lakers are laying 195 actually. It's down to 195. It was $2 on the dot, but it is now down to 195 for the Lakers, plus 160 for the Timberwolves on the series price. Series spread you can get for the Los Angeles Lakers laying 1.5 at plus 115. Plus 1.5 games for the Minnesota Timberwolves is minus 140. Total games, 5.5, sitting there at a minus 175. They're expecting a long series, Scott. What do you think?
Yeah, so going through the head-to-head history so far this season, even though some games did occur before the actual trade that ended up happening, the Lakers were tied 2-2 with Minnesota. In fact, the home team won every game, if you do care about home court advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lakers blast this team, to be honest. I think the series is pretty lopsided. I feel like Minnesota's chance is to try to maximize what they can do on the interior. I don't want to say the exact same way Memphis hung in there against Golden State yesterday, but the argument is, can Gobert and Reed take advantage of the lack of size the Lakers have? Can they do enough against either Jackson, Hayes, or the small ball lineup the Lakers are going to run out there? My answer is no. I don't think Minnesota's good enough in the half court to actually score to keep up with Luka and LeBron. That's really what it comes down to. Is that when you're looking at how this game should be played or how the series should be played, I'm assuming the Lakers will try to slow the game down. And with that being the case, do I think Minnesota's half-court offense is good enough to survive against Luka, LeBron, and Reeves? I'll throw Reeves in there too. I do not, because besides Anthony Edwards, your second-best weapon offensively is arguably playoff Julius Randle, and we know how that's going to go. So I have not been a fan of Minnesota's close games this season, especially lately. Gave up the 34-3 run to Milwaukee. They have really just not looked great over the course of, I'd say, final stretches of games in crunch time. And that is where the Lakers should thrive with Luka and LeBron. You're assuming you're going to be able to generate the best looks possible. And Minnesota kind of just makes stuff up in hopes and bails them out most of the time in these late shot clock situations. I think the Lakers destroy this team. I think the Lakers win in either 5 or 6. I actually might go 5. I think this series gets pretty ugly. You can argue maybe Minnesota defensively shows up for one. Mike Conley, though, has looked awful offensively for the last couple weeks. McDaniels is very streaky. Gobert, we know, nobody's really afraid of. There are a lot of offensive, I don't want to say liabilities, but a lot of potential weak links on this Minnesota team. And I feel like they are not going to, I'd say, do enough on their end offensively to actually swing the series. I'm going Lakers in 5. I see it being pretty lopsided.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the Lakers could do something crazy and annoy me by making this closer than what it is. But ultimately, I think this actually is a competitive series for 3 quarters. I think in the beginning parts of the game, Minnesota's probably going to be right there neck and neck with the Lakers. There's a little bit of revenge factor there going up against Luka. And I think Luka feels comfortable against this team. And I like Luka's chances of having a good game in almost every single game this series. But when the fourth quarter comes around, it's LeBron James and Luka Doncic versus Anthony Edwards, who is handicapped by Chris Finch at this point. Like we talk about the late in the shot clock not giving him the team at all any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Chance to succeed here in terms of giving them a good offensive set or something going. Like I just at this point, I think I'm out on Chris Finch as the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, to be honest. I think that's where I'm getting to this. I think I'm starting to be out on it. I just feel like you can only get so far just saying, hey, Ant, like you said, bail us out, bail us out, bail us out, time after time after time. And we talked about how inefficient he can get in those crunch time areas. It's because he's being handicapped by his coach, who's going out there and just letting the players do whatever. So I think this game is going to be competitive for 3 quarters in the games. And then in the fourth quarter, the Lakers are probably going to pull away 3 of the games. Might get 1 for the Timberwolves. And then we're sitting there and we're playing around with a 3-1 lead. And we see if the Timberwolves just roll over and go home at 4-1, or if it's hey, we extended it and then they end up playing game 6 or something like that. But this has 3-1 lead written all over it for the Lakers here. So I'm with you. I like the Lakers. I like the Lakers big in this series. I feel like playing the 1.5 games, even taking a sprinkle on 2.5, or the Lakers 4-1 win, I think is a pretty good play.
So just to be clear, your comparison based on game layout would be the Lakers and Nuggets series basically from last year, where one team kind of controls most of the game, and then you might end up seeing them fall apart in crunch time. Is that kind of what you're expecting here? Because I just have a hard time trusting Minnesota to get quality looks in the fourth quarter on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think the fourth quarter is where I will probably have a bet going every single fourth quarter. Let's say that. I'll probably have a bet going every single fourth quarter, fading the Minnesota Timberwolves no matter what the situation is. If they're up, then that's even better on me because I'm going to feel better about taking the Lakers in the fourth quarter. I really don't think the Timberwolves have anything for the Lakers in the fourth quarter because JJ Redick's shown us that he can coach up a defense and they can play smart defense and lock down. And so if they bring that intensity to the fourth quarter of games and they're not able to get stops on LeBron James, Luka Doncic, then I don't know what they have for them. So I think at that point, the fourth quarter of this game is probably going to be over more times than none where the Timberwolves just don't show up, as they did all year.
I do want to ask you, though, if Minnesota would pull off a shocker, let's say Minnesota either wins the series or goes to a 7th game, what would be the biggest X factor or the biggest determining factor for Minnesota to get you there? Is it Randall having a good series? Is it Gobert, Naz Reid? Like, is there one guy you're kind of looking at that you think if he actually plays well offensively and hits his shots, he can single-handedly maybe steal Minnesota a game or two.
I think Rudy Gobert, for sure, being able to stay on the court defensively and not get abused in the pick and roll. I think that for sure one. If he could stay on the court there, then his size and rebounding and all of that is going to be really, really key for them. And the same thing with Naz Reid and what Naz Reid is going to bring them off the bench. And if he's able to kind of take advantage of an undersized Lakers squad, then yeah, I think those could be some really, really big pieces. And of course, Julius Randle. If Julius Randle was consistent over the course of the whole series, then I will 100% be concerned. But ultimately, part of this handicap is also me not believing in Julius Randle being consistent over the course of the entire series.
Yeah, I'm still skeptical on Randall over the course of a series, and I do kind of get concerned he's going to start pressing when Ant starts taking a bunch of shots, and then Randall feels like I got to do something now because I have
And
the
then
ball.
he starts taking a bunch of dumb shots, and then you
Correct.
got two people looking at each other.
Except one of them's Anthony Edwards and the one's Julius Randle. That's kind of the problem you run into there. But I think my X factor will be different, actually. I'm going Jaden McDaniels as my X factor here because I do think
like
that
that.
his defense is going to be a serious, I'd say, of serious importance to Minnesota because he's going to probably get the LeBron matchup, question mark, maybe. You throw him on either LeBron or Luka.
It's either going to be LeBron or Luka, one or the other.
You got to try. Point is, though, McDaniels, I think we'd agree, foul trouble could be a problem. Do you think he's the best on-ball defender on the team?
For sure.
So the point is he's going to get one of those two guys. Foul trouble's been an issue for him his entire career, and we do know that McDaniels, not being the best outside shooter, does get left open a lot because you have Randall, you have Ant, and if he can hit some shots from the corners, then he can maybe keep Minnesota in some of these games. But I think he could also single-handedly punt the game for Minnesota, whether it involves foul trouble immediately, 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of a game, or if he ends up going like 2 of 10 from the floor, and then he mentally checks out because he's not hitting his shots. I think McDaniels can have a game or two that goes extremely poorly for him, and Minnesota is going to be really just in a lot of disarray because of what he brings to the table defensively. And if he ends up missing a lot of outside shots, that's one less guy you have to worry about because he might mentally check out of the series. So my X factor would be McDaniels. I think if he actually shoots well from the outside, if he plays good defense, he can be a serious, I'd say, once again, focal point of Minnesota's actual strategy and how they might be able to survive a couple of games here through defense and through some role-playing step-up games. My X factor is McDaniels. Do I think he's going to step up? No, I don't think he's going to. But if you're asking who I think can do enough offensively and defensively to at least frustrate the Lakers to some degree, I think it's Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I like that. All right. What else we got here? Anything else that sticks out to you? Series, player props, anything like that?
I guess the one thing I'll ask you for player props, just for the Luka LeBron debate here, who do you trust to be the leading scorer of the series? Would you go more likely Luka or more likely LeBron?
Luka.
Okay.
Yeah, not even thinking about it. LeBron. He's been saying for years how much he wanted Anthony Davis. Like, this is his team. This is his team. This is his team. This is his team. Like, he said it. We're not good if he's not our best player. So I think that same thing goes over to Luka. And it's like, hey, this is his team. Like, he's going to be our best player. And I'm here to kind of help aid that go and, do my thing when he can. So actually looking at the markets, I'm pretty sure I saw plus money on LeBron to lead the series in assists. I would take that. I think LeBron could 100% be more of the dish it out guy, and Luka is a lot more of the scoring ISO guy rather than him stacking up the assists in this series.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. I feel like it was just worth asking because if we're picking the Lakers to win, and we do acknowledge that Minnesota's going to have to try to sell out to stop somebody, is that Luka? I'm assuming McDaniels will be guarding Luka, so I'm not sure who's going to be getting LeBron. Julius Randle probably. Like, you can make an argument that LeBron actually has a decent matchup in this game.
That actually, that makes sense.
Exploit. So I think I agree with you, though. I'd probably go Luka points. I don't mind LeBron assists. The rebound prop could be interesting. Do we think LeBron has a shot to lead the series in rebounding? Do you think Luka has a shot to lead the series in rebounding?
I actually do, because if you look at it, like, they're the leading rebounders any other game.
Yeah.
And, you sit there, you look at LeBron, and next thing you know, he's got 12 rebounds. Like, if he's sitting here around 9. Like, what is it? 9 rebounds is the leading rebounder in this series. Maybe 10 if you.
It depends on what your stance is on Gobert, because in
Yeah.
theory, Gobert could average like 12 if he's not played off the court.
Mhm.
He might be played off the court. So just something to keep in mind. Gobert would probably be the favorite, if I had to assume. But you do wonder matchup-wise,
Yeah,
if
he's
it's a good or
minus
bad
650.
matchup for Gobert.
Minus 650 Rudy Gobert, plus 650 Luka Doncic, 18-1 on LeBron James, 30-1 on Julius Randle. That 18-1 actually.
18-1 sounds kind of
Yeah,
intriguing.
that sounds kind of sweet. I like that. That sounds cool. Anything else out there? Threes leader, Ant minus 145, Luka plus 150, Austin Reeves 10-1, Dante DiVincenzo 15-1.
I don't think I really have much to add because we
Yeah.
both agree the Lakers are going to win in probably 5 or 6. That's kind of where we're at. At least it seems that way. So, I mean, Minnesota, look, they ended up trading away Cat. They were in shambles earlier this season, and they pieced it together enough to avoid the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
They tried. They remained relevant. They avoided the play-in.
And now, and now it's 1-2-3 Cancun. It's 1-2-3 Cancun.
But in reality, though, to defend a little bit the move they made, assuming they still had Cat, the Western Conference still is very, very difficult.
Like, what was the if they didn't make the move?
I'm not picking them to go to the NBA Finals anyway. Like,
do you think they're higher than a 6 seed? Like, a 6 seed is pretty much where I probably would have had them pegged at.
I'll say a 6 seed probably. I think I'd put them at like maybe a 3 or a 4. But the point is, I would not take them to win the West. So I don't really think the ceiling was ever there in such a difficult conference.
Yeah.
That I'll put it this way: I don't think the trade went that badly for Minnesota. We'll see how it turns out with the Knicks with Cat. But I feel like when you're asking Timberwolves fans how they feel about this season, they would say frustrated, but honestly, a little bit content by how it ended.
I think they're
it
just
was
sitting
rough.
there. I think they're really just praying KD is coming through the door soon.
It could be. You can argue maybe they'll trade Randall in the offseason. We'll see. They can still let him go, actually, during the offseason. But I think Minnesota had a decent year, all things being considered. They avoided the play-in, and for about, I'd say, 60% of the season, they looked guaranteed for the play-in. So at least they got out of that. That counts for something, right?
Yeah, it does. It very much does. All right. Before we get to the next series, got to talk to you about Edge Boost. Have you ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Man, or needed some 2 a.m. cash for another shot at the tables? Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it without the delays that could come with traditional banks. For high rollers, you can move up to $2,500,000 on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. You never have to wait for a wire to clear. And every time you deposit, you get into a qualified gambling account. You get a chance to earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. All this and no usage fees, no minimum balance. Come on. Edge Boost is a Visa debit account that will make it easy to get started. No credit checks, no minimum balance, no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're good to go. Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Head over there, bet everything, every sport, NBA playoffs included, and they accept a ton of customers from a whole bunch of different locations. So easy deposit and use lightning fast payouts with cryptocurrency. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. It's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Oh, Chicago's down 17 now. Yikes.
Hang in there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, if they get it to 10 at half, get 10, less than 10 at half.
Hopefully. I mean, Giddey's the only one who's actually trying right now, so we'll see what happens. But
I know, man. I need Kobe White to wake up.
Yeah. Hero, though, 7 for 7, so okay.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And the threes, the step back three. He's completely in rhythm. Like it was the early drives to the basket that just he's feeling it right now. So
Oh no,
that's
Miami has 50 points with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Like Miami's on pace for about 70 in the first
yeah.
quarter. So we'll see what
And there
happens.
goes another Duncan Robinson. There's another dunk. Oh well, there's the 50 points you were talking about.
Chicago's got to guard somebody. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Like right now, they're not guarding anybody.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. All right, let's see here. Let's get to the next series. 4 seed Denver Nuggets going up against the 5 seed Los Angeles Clippers. Scott, we were lockstep on this one early, and the market absolutely moved the exact same way. The Clippers were high as what, plus 160, I think. Like, it was pretty
160,
high.
150, give or take. I mean, that line was
Yeah,
not there for a long time, but the Nuggets opened up as a decent minus price.
yeah, like and it chipped away, chipped away, chipped away, chipped away, chipped away.
But now it's a coin flip.
Oh, dude, minus 150. I mean, not minus 150, minus 110 both ways. They have even moved the Clippers, even though it's still minus 110, they moved them out of the dog spot into the favorite spot, even though it's still minus 110 both ways. The line is everything's going Clippers' way. It seems like it's pushing all the way to the Clippers. So you got to pick them for this, for the money line series spread. You can go any way with it. I mean, there's no value on Clippers plus 1.5 games right now. That's minus 250. You can go Clippers laying 1.5 at plus 150. Denver catching 1.5 games is minus 180, and Denver laying 1.5 games is plus 200. The total games is sitting at laying $2 for over 5.5 games, plus 165 for under 5.5 games here.
So you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, let you go ahead, Scott.
All right. So I'm sure it's been well documented on this podcast. I have been very low on Denver for the
Yeah,
last couple of weeks, if not months.
and
I've
pretty
seen
much
them
from the
lose.
start of the season.
I saw them lose 2 games to the Wizards this season. I've seen them punt games away for no reason down the stretch. I've
Oh
seen
shit, they
the
did lose the
Westbrook
second game.
experience. What?
Oh, they did lose both games to the
They lost
Wizards.
both games to the Wizards.
No, I remember both of the losses, but I think I have it in like a parallel universe where they both like where it only happened once, but that was actually 2 separate
They
games.
got blown out in one of them. I think Joker had like 50, and they got
Oh
blown
my
out. And
gosh.
then they had the Jordan Poole shot in the second one.
I don't know why I thought that was 2 different seasons, and I just knew they split this season and those wins were 2 different seasons. No, that was the same season.
Yeah, the
Jesus
point is they're
Christ.
0-2 against the Wizards, and you're looking at the injuries. Jamal Murray came back barely at the end of the season, so we'll see how healthy he's looking. But you're looking at the overall roster makeup and the Westbrook experience, which has definitely taken a sour turn over the last couple of weeks. And the question is, do I actually like Denver's supporting cast? And I feel like the answer is no. I understand a lot of these main guys were key pieces to winning a title. The problem is Denver never really adapted, and it felt like they just stuck with the same formula, hoping it'd win them another title. And it feels like the rest of the Western Conference got better, and
Mhm.
they stayed the same or arguably got worse, because I feel like this team with Jamal Murray, who might not be 100%, we'll see. Porter Jr., who I feel like has also not been 100% lately, and we'll see how he's going to look in the series too. You have Gordon, who's also been banged up a bit. We know he missed a little bit of time, but we know that he's a very good player defensively, and we
Mhm.
do know that he's a great lob catcher for Joker. And then you throw in all the other guys. Christian Brown's fine. Do I trust the bench? No. They have one of the worst benches in the league. They have, I believe, the 3rd fewest bench points per game. And then you have Westbrook. And that is a serious wild card in the entire series and playoff run. And you could argue not in a good way. Because if Westbrook has a bad series, they have serious problems. Now, you could argue that maybe that's why Mike Malone got fired, because he was playing Westbrook too much, and the other players on the team had enough of it. I can't tell how many of those rumors are ever true, or how
Mhm.
much of it is just let me just throw some shade at Westbrook and see what sticks, because
Yeah.
that'll get all the clicks. So I can never really tell what's accurate or not. But Westbrook definitely cannot play crunch time for this team moving forward. But speaking of teams heading in pretty interesting directions, the Clippers have been an elite team over the last month. They've been really, really good. They beat Golden State in Golden State to avoid the play-in. We
Mhm.
saw Kawhi stay healthy for now, knock on wood. Harden looks great. He might be an All-NBA team guy. Norman Powell's healthy again. He's been great. And Zubac has been absolutely incredible. Zubac has been, in my opinion, the key to the entire team. I know Kawhi staying healthy definitely helps, but Zubac has been so good, and I feel like his ability to actually use his size without getting into foul trouble is a massive plus for this team. And when it comes to other teams trying to figure out how to guard Joker, you can't stop Joker, but at least you can leave Zubac by himself, try to stop everybody else on the team, and go from there. I see that being the strategy. Let Zubac try to guard Joker. If Joker needs to take 20, 30-something shots to get to 50 points, but you stop everyone else, you'll take your chances. But the Nuggets defense, we know, has been pretty bad for most of the season. And the Clippers right now, they look so good. I just feel like the Clippers found a certain gear that the Nuggets, honestly, I don't think they have. If the Clippers are healthy, and if Harden doesn't pull a Houdini and disappear in the playoff series again, I think they win the series kind of decisively. At least I think they should on paper. I'll give Joker a game or two minimum, because Joker, I think, can invent stuff and find ways to win games. But the Clippers, in my opinion, are going to win this in 6. I think the Clippers are far and away the better basketball team from top to bottom. I'm going Clippers in 6.
So let me just bury the lead. I 100% agree with you. I think there's a possibility that they punch them in the mouth early and win game 1. Denver has not been good at home over the course of the entire season. The Clippers are the hottest team since the All-Star break, honestly. On the road, the Clippers are 11-1 straight up, 8-4 ATS post All-Star break. They are 4th best in opponents' points per game. The Denver Nuggets have been in the bottom of the league defensively in almost every single metric over the course of the entire season. Like, it's really, really hard to pick out even a stretch of games where they played well defensively. But they have Jokic. They're able to put up points, and so they've won games, and the league is really, really bad. Yes, Zubac is a big piece, huge piece of how good he's playing right now. Add that on top of what Kawhi Leonard is doing right now,
And Harden.
and it really, if James Harden is James Harden and he doesn't sabotage himself in the playoffs, this is clear cut an NBA Finals team.
And the main question for the Clippers, of course, or the main flaw right now is either Harden's history or Kawhi's injury history. And they're automatically pricing it in like there's some type of boogeyman with this team. And there might be. But based on current health, I can't suddenly try to factor in an injury that right now doesn't exist. If we're assuming, or Harden's going to suddenly no-show a series again, based on how he's played. He might at some point. But if I'm judging the Clippers based on what I've seen right now, and what the upside of this team is at the moment, it is significantly higher than Denver's upside. And I have to go with, in my opinion, the better team at a very affordable price. Yes, if Kawhi gets hurt, the Nuggets might win the series. But based on how the rosters look right now, I'm not going to try to predict a phantom injury to give one team a realistic chance to win the series. Assuming Kawhi can keep it together for 2 weeks, this team should win the series. I think the Clippers are that much better than the Nuggets on paper. And eye test.
And yeah, I feel like I had something else to say, but I can't remember. It all just stems back to the Nuggets just aren't like that this year, man. And it's fine. You can have a really good player and not be a great overall team. And
it goes back to Calvin Booth. He didn't do anything to improve the roster for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and so
that's why he got fired.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's why he's kicking the curb, because the team is not better, and it's gonna be exactly what everybody foretold. Like, I don't see why I would want to put money on the team that has all this turmoil going on against the team that literally won 8 straight games to get to in the playoffs. They were outside, Scott. They were outside in what was a competitive Western Conference. That's all that anybody's been talking about for the past 2 weeks, how competitive the West is and how it's going to come down to the very last game. The Clippers won 8 straight to put themselves in this situation.
They ran the table Be Golden State at Golden State.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. And you're looking at Denver. And yes, Denver did beat Houston in that game in the finale. Houston tried early, pulled everyone quickly, but that game meant more to Denver than Houston, obviously. You're looking at Murray, though. He has played 2 games since March 26th, and we're only worried about Kawhi's injury history right now?
Yeah.
I feel like we have to at least keep it fair and talk about how Murray has battled injuries for the last month or two.
Oh, he's
And
battled
it
injuries
feels like
his entire
nobody's
career.
talking about it to the same degree. And Kawhi's
Mhm.
actually been healthy.
Mhm.
Kawhi played an overtime game against the Warriors and looked fantastic and played like 40 minutes.
Well, somebody's talking about it because the line went the same direction that we're talking. So it seems like it got through to somebody. But
Yeah, but based on opening line, it feels like everyone's expecting the Clippers to choke because of the history. And you look at Jokic, who you could argue should or should not win MVP, but he's having one of the best seasons of all time, if we're being honest here. And you throw in the fact that they've won before. But it feels like a lot of name recognition or name bias for Denver being an automatic threat because they have the best player in the league, when in reality, they won 50 games because of Joker, but he's covered up a significant amount of flaws on this team. And if you actually look at the roster surrounding Joker, it's really not that great.
Mhm.
It's really not. Now, the question I do have for you in the series, we mentioned all the guys that the Clippers have. They can have a Harden game. They can have a Kawhi game. They could have a Powell game. They can even have a Zubac game where he goes for 20 and 20. If Joker ends up with an off game, first of all,
Oh, it's
Denver's
over.
guaranteed to lose. Like,
Yeah.
guaranteed. There's no chance they win if Joker doesn't go crazy in a game. If Joker ends up averaging, let's say 32, 12, and 10, is Denver even guaranteed to win this series? Because I don't think they are.
Nope.
So then I can't take them.
He had, what was it, a 50-point loss? 50-point
They had a
triple-double loss?
60-point triple-double, and they lost to
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
Not
they were
guaranteed at
missing
all.
some guys, to be fair, but that's why Westbrook was playing crunch
I mean,
time.
shoot, they might be
But-
missing some guys in this series.
Correct. We don't know for certain if Murray and Porter Jr. will be fully healthy for the entire series. But the fact is the Clippers have a ton of solid scoring options, and they don't have to rely on one guy.
Yep.
Denver really does, and if Joker goes Superman, there's no guarantee with that they win the series. And if Joker has a fine series, if Joker goes for 27, 12, and 8, good numbers. You could argue not up to Joker standards, but with those numbers, they're losing in 5. They need Joker to carry this team by himself, and I think the Clippers are too deep for that.
I'm about to turn this Bulls game off.
It's ugly.
They can't score, man.
No.
I mean, they can't get a stop, but they really can't. Like,
They have 11 points in the quarter.
Yeah. It's really annoying. Wow. Hopefully they turn around the second half, or that's like a huge flop.
It's a good thing the Bulls didn't tank for that, right? You had a fun time, 15-5 to end the season.
Oh, man. Dog. I mean, we did say that we like Miami, but like, I like Chicago
I
more.
didn't do the game, so.
I like Chicago more. No, I mean, we said we like Miami. Like, as a team
I said
coming in.
whoever wins this game's beating Atlanta.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I still
that way.
feel very strongly.
That was the
about
only
it.
prediction I had. I had Atlanta to miss the playoffs at like 3-1 like 2 weeks ago, and I feel good about Miami beating Atlanta if that's the matchup. So, yeah, kind of a waste. It's a shame that the game's horrible, but we'll see what happens in the later game. But I do want to ask you though, for the Clippers and Nuggets, if the Nuggets won this series, it's got to be a turn the clock back series for Jamal Murray, right? I mean, Murray's got to go crazy.
Yeah, it would have to be Jamal Murray. They took advantage of James Harden on the court, and they attacked James Harden every single play. Jokic had an amazing series.
Joker's a given. You're going to throw Joker in for like a 33-point fringe triple.
And then you got Jamal Murray coming in, giving contribution. You get very, very, very solid defensive minutes from Aaron Gordon against Kawhi Leonard, who I assume that's probably who they're going to put him on and try to slow down Kawhi Leonard. And if Aaron Gordon can make Kawhi Leonard have off games in this series, and then James Harden reverts back the clock, then yeah, 100% Denver can win some games in this series. So I think it would really be a lot of Aaron Gordon for me. Aaron Gordon has to make Kawhi Leonard he has to work for 20, and that 20 has to be inefficient.
So I'll ask you, though, for Murray, just for the sake of it, because we're assuming Murray will be the second leading scorer on Denver in the series, just based on usage. How many
I
points
don't
is...
think so.
You don't think so? You don't think Murray's going to be second leading scorer?
No, I think that MPJ has
Okay.
an opportunity,
Okay.
or just the fact of they use Gordon's size and just say, they don't have anybody that can slow him down in the post if Kawhi Leonard is focused elsewhere. So I could talk myself. I don't like Jamal Murray.
It was
for
mostly
one.
based on usage because I'm assuming they're going to
Yeah.
spam Murray pick and rolls. That's why I
Yeah.
assumed he'd be the second leading scorer on this team. How many points? Okay, well, I'll rephrase it. How many points per game do you think Murray and MPJ have to average in order to actually win the series?
Together?
50? You're going like
Damn.
45?
Yeah, if they average 50, they for sure won the series.
That's what I'm saying.
You tell me,
what's the number here?
if you tell me they have 50, they definitely won the series. If they have 40, I think that is very, very competitive. They might not have won, but they might have pushed it further than I would have liked them to push it. Anything less than that in 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
I'm not even sure 40's enough, to be honest, because they have no bench at all.
Cancun on 3.
It could be. Now, JT's asking about Watson stepping up. I like Watson's energy and defense. He can't really shoot. I just feel like the lack of outside shooting for Denver's going to get them killed. When you're looking
man.
at
Russell
all the
Westbrook
guys they have,
fired.
I mean, they use, of course, Brown, who could shoot a little bit. Strother came back. He's pretty streaky, for being honest, here off the bench.
And that's also the thing that's wrong with Denver. They don't have a great if what everything they're saying is true, they do not have a great relationship with Russell Westbrook right now. The coach doesn't want to use him all that well, and then you have to use Russ for him to be good.
And it's also a new coach.
You can't just tell him come off the bench and be good for us. No, he has to be literally a part of the game plan. You have to be running stuff for him. You have to get him in the game. Like, nah, if Russ is not bought in, they have no shot because they don't have a bench.
They have no bench at all. And the Clippers, I think, can manufacture a bench if you stagger the minutes of the star players. So they can have Harden or Kawhi on the court at all times. They can find ways to get by. Denver can't do that. They can try Murray with the bench and figure it out, but I don't think that's going to work. Plus, to mention it, because I have to, you have Ty Lue against basically a brand new coach.
Yep.
I think Ty Lue's got flaws, but he's been there before.
Yeah.
So that counts too. I think the series can get ugly. I'll give Denver a courtesy 2 games. Joker goes for 45 and they steal 1, and maybe Murray has a good game at home. But I'm going to go with the Clippers in 6.
I would like to give a prediction. I think by game 3, you will be off of the Clippers in 6.
That's I'll be in Clippers in 5?
Yeah. I think by game 3, you're going to be like, no, they're not getting 2 games.
Maybe I'm also accounting for, in the back of my mind, a Harden underachiever.
I'm gonna keep track of this. Somebody remind me. I'm calling game 3. Scott completely is like, oh no, this is actually going 5. And don't let them not have a win by game 3.
I don't know. A part of me also thinks, though, Denver could win game 1 because Ty Lue historically is really not that good in game 1. There is a chance Denver does win game 1 at home, and then
but if they win, but if they go 1-1 and then they win definitively in game 3, I know by game 3 you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's it.
Well, shout out to the Clippers, by the way, for having an actual home court advantage now because they have their own stadium. That helps. The Intuit Dome's going to be nuts.
Oh yeah, and they were actually like really, really into it all year long, and so now, like it has to be. Oh, that's going to be the lock of the. We got to remember that, Scott. No matter what happens,
for game 3.
Yeah, game 3, first playoff game in Intuit Dome. Clippers all the way.
And also one other point I'll mention for an X factor with Murray playing 2 games to come back from injury.
Yeah,
the guy you probably don't want to see right when you come back is Chris Dunn. You probably don't want to see Chris Dunn lining up against you for about 25 minutes because he's a hell of a defensive player. He's going to make Murray's life miserable. Even if Murray gets his shots, you said before with Gordon against Kawhi, make it inefficient, make him work for it. Chris Dunn probably makes guards work harder than anybody else in the league, or at least he's up there. Dunn defensively is filthy, and Murray might have a couple of really off games just by Dunn's presence. I think he's that good defensively.
I wish I could see a Jamal Murray points over under. I got over on that a couple of times, taking the under on his points for a series. This could be another series where I need to take Jamal Murray's under on points.
I just have to mention Chris Dunn because I know we talked about the star guys, but Dunn's been really, really good. If you want a comp, I know people don't like him. It's the Pat Bev role on the
Mm-hmm.
Clippers. They just want him to be basically a serious frustrator defensively and to try to keep the opposing ball handler, I'll put it this way, uncomfortable. And he's done a great job. So I do think that'll be an underrated matchup in this series. But the Clippers have different looks they can throw at you. And the Nuggets really don't have any looks. They're pretty much a one-trick pony. So I'll go Clippers in 6.
All right. I think the player props are pretty self-explanatory, actually.
Yeah.
Jokic points -180. Yeah. James Harden threes -120. I mean, I guess you could kind of make an argument in this market, but like you got James Harden -120, Norman Powell 4-1, Michael Porter Jr. 5-1, Jamal Murray plus 150. I don't know. I think I would still go James Harden. Even with the opportunity to get some nice plus money on the other guys, I think I would still go James Harden.
I think the only, I'd say, bold play I'll take for a player prop here, I will go with Norman Powell to lead the series in threes at 4-1.
Okay.
I think Harden being that price does feel a bit too cheap at -120. I know that Joker's been good at hitting threes this season. He's 30-1, but I just don't see the volume being there. You could argue maybe. Murray might not be fully healthy at 750. Porter Jr. might not be fully healthy. Powell can get hot very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking of matchups on who's going to guard who on the Clippers, I have no idea who's going to guard Norman Powell. Is it Brown?
Nobody.
Brown might guard Harden. You throw
Yeah.
Murray on him and you try to save energy? Like, I don't know who's going to guard Norman Powell.
Yeah, because you can't put Murray on James Harden.
No. So,
dude, you can't do that at all. Oh, wow. Scott. Oh.
And we know that Powell can easily
give you 20 points.
If we talk about Powell being on a heater, he could easily average 4 3-pointers a game in this series.
Yeah.
So I'll go with him as my
you might not
long
even
shot
need
option.
that much. You really might not even need that much for this series, honestly.
No. But 4-1 I think is very intriguing for Powell.
Okay, you talked me into I could take a little stab at Norman Powell. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is rather standard here. All right.
I see JT asking, by the way, if Harden gets a triple-double in any game in the series. I'm going to say no solely for the rebounds. You have Zubac and Joker in there. And even Porter Jr. can rebound. And so can Gordon. I don't know if Harden has enough rebounds.
He'd have to stumble into one. Where it's just like it was a lot of threes that were going up that game and a lot of long rebounds, and he just kind of grabbed them, and next thing you know, he's got 7 in the first half.
I mean, the Clippers' defense is basically set up to guard and let Zubac grab every rebound. That's basically how they're set up. So I think Harden will definitely have at least 2 10-assist games. But for the rebounds, I think you have a better chance at Zubac getting 20-plus in a game or two than Harden with a triple-double. I don't think it's that close. But Zubac should have a 20-rebound game in this series, in my opinion.
No, that would be a nice prop. Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. You can pick higher or lower your favorite players' fantasy stats in the NBA, MLB, MMA, NASCAR, all that and more over there at Underdog Fantasy. We build in Underdog Pick'em lineups all the time when we have games to talk about. So make sure that you tune in when we do those. And sign up with promo code NBA SGPN over there at underdogfantasy.com. That is NBA SGPN for your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash over there at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, your home for AI bat picks and props, and they're live for Major League Baseball. They got the NBA, golf, all of that. And you can build your own model. It's really, really simple and easy. I'm telling you, because I can do it and it doesn't even, it's super easy. If I can do it and I'm not tech savvy, I know you can do it. So here's something that you need to do. You need to lock in with Rhythm and get down on their 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off their annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And make sure you use that promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. All right, let's get a lock and a dog going for the series is here. Scott, what do you want to do?
All right. So I'll rephrase this as best bets because we do feel pretty good about each team in this. I feel pretty good about the Clippers, to be honest. I feel like the only argument against them being injury.
I would be shocked.
I would be too. The argument, though, is that Joker's Joker, and Kawhi and Harden, we know, have had playoff issues for different reasons. However, I can't assume that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Murray and Porter Jr. have been injured over the last month or so, so that's also kind of a factor I got to mention, too. The Clippers are so much better than this team. And I know that we missed out, or I know I did not miss out because I've been talking about it for months. I took the Clippers to lose in the first round at like plus 170 like 2 weeks ago, and now it's minus 110, so I feel pretty good about what I got. But the Clippers are a team that if you're asking for a dark horse that could make some noise in the Western Conference.
Wait, the Nuggets to lose in the first round?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you said Clippers.
I gave out the Nuggets. FanDuel posted that like 2 weeks ago. I took the Nuggets at like plus 170 to lose in the first round because I just have not been a fan of this team for a while. I love Joker. He's my favorite player in the league. One of the best players I've ever seen. But at the same time, I remember that he got buried by the Golden State Warriors the year they won with the... What the hell is the starting lineup called?
What, the Death lineup?
The new one. The pool... It wasn't a pool party. What was it called?
For the Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Death lineup. It wasn't the Death lineup?
They had another one, though, with Poole being in there. I forgot the name.
Oh, dog, I thought that was... I thought that one... Wait, what was the real Death lineup?
The real Death one was with Iguodala.
Oh, no, I thought they called it that again.
They basically rebooted it. But the point is, the Nuggets
what was it called?
The Nuggets had a great player in Joker and a great player, of course, with a healthy Murray at that point, who was actually injured. He ended up missing the entire season. But you're looking at a similar situation here where Denver got smacked. They lost in like 5 games. The Warriors killed them. And going into that series, I just thought the Clippers couldn't match up with all the guys that the other team had. And I feel the same way in this series. The Clippers, I don't think, have the defense and the overall skill to match up with all the options the Clippers have. And I just think whether it involves Harden having a crazy game, Kawhi, Powell, or Zubac, they have so many reliable options based on the last month or so that I just don't think Denver has the skill to stay with this team. I just don't think they do. So I'll go with the Clippers, but I am going to go with the Clippers minus 1.5 because you wanted a dog for this episode. So I will go with the Clippers.
It could be just best bets.
It's fine. So I'll do best bets mixed. Give me the Clippers minus 1.5 games at plus 150, and I'll actually go with the same play in the other series. Give me the Lakers minus 1.5 games against Minnesota. That is at plus 115. I just think both favorites in the series. You could argue Clippers aren't a favorite, but we think they are. I think both LA teams, in my opinion, are much better than the opposition in their matchups. Give me the Lakers and give me the Clippers in a pretty convincing fashion. That's where I'm at for my best bets.
Pretty much the same thing for me. I mean, Lakers 1.5, Clippers 1.5, Clippers 2.5. I probably will get there on Lakers 2.5, but I could see the games being so competitive that Minnesota stumbles into a couple of games. I think the fear for me is that Minnesota somehow finds themselves in a game 7. But ultimately, I think they're going to fumble regardless. I would play the under 5.5 games in the Clippers and Nuggets series. I think it's a very, very good chance that we land on 5 there. Like a pretty good chance. So I like that. What else do we got that I would play? You kind of talked me into the Norman Powell angle. I would play that.
4 to 1 is a good price.
Yeah. I like the LeBron James assist angle and him dominating the assist in that series. So I would take that. That's about it. I think that's the most of it there. But yeah, we're pretty lockstep here. We're taking the LA teams. We think the LA teams move on.
I'm still trying to find the name of that Warriors one.
Oh, it's the No, so I pulled it up. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot. Yes, it says here the Golden State Warriors lineup with Jordan Poole is being referred to as the death lineup.
I still remember there was that one game. I think it was like game 2. They scored like 70 points in like 16 minutes or something. It was one of the craziest offensive performances I've seen in a half. They scored like 70 points in like 15 minutes. And I'm like, what the hell is even happening right now? And then the Nuggets had no answers. They had a lot of guys injured in that series. But the point is, there was a sense of helplessness as you watched the games unfold, where you're like, I don't know what Joker's supposed to do. Will Barton's playing 35 minutes a game. Like, I don't know what he's supposed to do here. Like, you're just going to lose. I feel the same way with this series. The Clippers are just a bad matchup, in my opinion, for this current form of the Nuggets. And we'll see if Joker can carry them. If he does, it's an all-time series for me. Because I think that it's definitely going to be very, very hard when you're comparing these two rosters.
Oh, yeah. The Nuggets get this. If the Nuggets win this, then, yeah, I'll go ahead and anoint Jokic, whatever. The Nuggets win this, I'll anoint him whatever you want to anoint him, because this, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Like, I genuinely, and a lot of other times when I'm wrong about stuff, I'm like, okay, I definitely see how I could have been wrong there, and I probably could have been on the other side. Like this Heat game, I could definitely see how I got kind of locked in on the Bulls here, but this series, no, I would be shocked. All right, don't shop in my book. My book would have had the Clippers laying $2.
I mean, if I was being honest about
shop
where
with
I would
me.
price, if I was actually pricing this line myself, I understand Denver does have home court, and home court in Denver tends to matter. Not that much this year, but in previous years, I would have had the Clippers a minus 150.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warriors being 2-1, I mean, being minus 200 as the 7 seed is crazy.
I would have definitely, if that's minus 200, I would 100% had the Clippers as minus 200 as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. If the Warriors are minus 200, the Clippers feel like minus 225.
Yeah,
but
honestly.
I would have put the Clippers at minus 150. I think 110 is a pretty good deal, but I'll go for glory and go with the 1.5 at plus 150.
All right, Scott, anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
Not really. I still have a bunch of episodes left for the remainder of the week. I know that we're going to be doing the series previews for the we have a couple other series to do. We actually have the Warriors-Rocket series, for example, and the Celtics-Magic series. So we're going to preview that as well. We might end up punting the series previews for an individual episode for the 1-8 matchups. We might just infuse that into a separate episode. To be honest, what's the point? I think we're each picking the Thunder to beat.
I actually, if it is Dallas, you just pencil me in for Dallas plus 2.5 games, because that's probably what it's going to be. If it's Dallas, pencil me in for Dallas on the series spread. Dallas has given OKC shit all year, regardless of what form they were in. They have been giving them really, really being a pest. So just pencil me in for Dallas if that's the matchup.
The point is, though, none of us would pick the Thunder to lose, and I guarantee you none of us would pick the Heat or the Hawks to beat the Cavs.
Yeah.
So I feel like, once again, it's kind of a waste. So we're going to skip that. We might, once again, mix it in with a Game 1 breakdown in one of those episodes. We'll talk about it, but we should have one more series preview separate episode. And then we'll also get into the games. Of course, we have the play-in games on Friday, and we have the playoffs starting on Saturday.
By the way, WNBA stuff. Books have still not released WNBA win totals. Very
cowards.
Very annoying. Scott, Joel Lloyd may or may not have a kicker in her Nike contract that gives her extra money if she scores 20 points per game a season.
You know, she never needed a reason to let it fly, but she has a reason, so I'm not going to stop, making a case for leading score.
Scott, her points prop for the season is at 18.3. Do they know that she's on the Aces now?
Yeah.
First of all, having Jewel Lloyd at anything under 20 points per game is actually criminal. But that is also plus 110, Scott.
Jewel Lloyd with Asia Wilson is honestly just insane.
Kelsey Plum averaged 20 in the same offense. Same offense.
I mean, you know my thoughts on Plum. I think she's good but overrated. So we'll see how she does in her new environment.
Same offense, average 20. Oh, so. Scott, lock of the year. I'm telling you right now, that is a win. That is a future lock. If you want an NFL win total, just attach Jewel Lloyd over 18.5. 18.3. It's not even 18.5, Scott. It's 18.3. Plus money. Ridiculous. All right.
Also, one quick point on WNBA before we wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to a future Hall of Famer, one of the best WNBA careers of all time. Shout out to Deladon, who ended up retiring from the league.
Yeah.
All-time great. So shout out to you.
Brought the Washington Mystics a championship 2019. You know I'm a pseudo.
And then she left and the team was done for after that. But yes.
Well, hey, they
gave it a good run last year.
If we are lucky, they might be competitive. still lose a bunch of games, but they might be
I
competitive.
know. I just
in
mean
those
that
games.
she left and they immediately went from like contenders to being a fringe playoff team, if that. That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
But
pretty
shout
much.
out to Deladon, though, who had a great career.
All right. He's at Right Show Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow on X and at SGPN NBA on X. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN for Underdog Fantasy. With that is it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just ending like this. Make sure you leave us a like, 5-star rating and review wherever you get that. Do it right now. Appreciate you. We're out of here.